Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Dave Jones on this Friday, November 15th, 2024. This is a tropical update for the All Hazards Consortium Sensitive Information Sharing Environment as we share data and information across platforms between private sector liaisons within state emergency operations centers and also the private sector owner-operators to get things delivered across borders. Traffic moving, goods and services being delivered across borders, as well as utilities being recovered and restored quickly after disaster hits. Well, this is the Tropical Update from Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. We do have Tropical Storm Sara. You can see Sara really spinning right here. As a matter of fact, over the last couple of hours, it's actually gotten a little bit stronger. It's showing some more impressive development in the satellite imagery. This is the GOES satellite, geostationary satellite, and I'm focused in here on the visible sector, and I've turned on the sea surface temperatures underneath. Needless to say, that's not an issue. Sea surface temperatures are very warm, and I'm going to show you those with some little interesting twist here in just a few minutes. But you can see the rotation. We have strong showers and thunderstorms creating some flooding here in Quintana Roo and also in Belize City, getting some heavy showers and storms, and also down here in Honduras. Honduras really taking it on the chin. Some areas in northern Honduras could see upwards of 30 inches of rain. That is going to produce life-threatening conditions, major flash floods as this intense rainfall comes down in northern Honduras. Of course, we have some mountains around here too. So when the rain and the wind hits the mountains, air moves up, enhances the rainfall as well. So there'll be lots of mudslides and landslides there. It's going to be a terrible several days there in Central America. But one other interesting thing that has been happening with Tropical Storm Sara. Yesterday, when it was approaching the coast of Honduras, it was moving west at 14 miles per hour. Now it's moving west at 2 miles per hour. Let's take it full screen. I'll show you what's going on. And so here's the northern coast of Honduras here. Nicaragua right down here. So they're getting some flow also down here into Nicaragua off the Pacific Ocean. That's creating flooding as well. These systems, when they move so slow in the tropics, are really, really terrible. They take a lot of lives and create really terrible flooding conditions, landslides, mudslides, all that sort of stuff. So the latest statistics as of 1 o'clock Eastern time this afternoon, location 16.1 north, 86.1 west, 170 miles southeast of Belize City. Max winds now 50 miles per hour, but look at that movement west at 2 miles per hour. It is just crawling, which just means those heavy showers and storms are going to remain over the same areas for persistent intense rainfall. Minimum central pressure below 1,000 millibars, now 997. So this is what's going to be happening with Sara over the next couple of days. I'll center it up here a little bit. It looks like Sara is going to be moving in this direction and right across the Yucatan into the southern part of the Gulf of Mexico. This is the Bay of Campeche here. Moving into the southern Gulf of Mexico, Bay of Campeche, probably by Tuesday. And I'm going to show you the model forecasts for what's going on as well. From the National Hurricane Center and into GeoCollaborate, let me show you what that looks like full screen here. Here's the latest information related to GeoCollaborate or displayed in GeoCollaborate. This is the ultimate wind field of the system right in here. But we do have the probability, high probability of tropical storm force winds in this purple area, the red area, the orange area. So it looks like that's what's going to feel the worst as far as the wind goes, and also some wind-driven storm surge of a couple of feet above mean sea level there and above normally dry ground, actually, because this storm is moving so slow. But look at this. It's a narrow probability of the tropical storm force winds because it's not a huge storm with the wind radii. But here's the forecast path that the Hurricane Center has, and it has it emerging as a depression on the 18th. So that is on Monday. Monday, it should be coming into the Bay of Campeche with winds of 30 miles per hour. And that's the big question. What's it going to do once it gets in to the Gulf of Mexico? Well, we're going to talk about that. But I first want to show you a little thing that I did with sea surface temperature data here. I'm going to switch it over here to this system, GeoCollaborate, and showing NASA Worldview data. And this is actually sea surface temperatures. I'll back out a little bit. This is sea surface temperature data that is thresholded to show you all of the temperatures that will support a tropical cyclone. So I took away all the other temperatures except those that are warm enough to support a tropical cyclone. So these are all temperatures above 79 degrees Fahrenheit here. And watch this. I'll put the legend on here so you can see as I move the cursor. Look at that moving in the upper right-hand corner as these temperatures change. You can see the loop current coming up in here. But look, temperatures along the coastline, while they are warm, they're not strong enough or high enough to support tropical cyclone activity. Doesn't mean that if one moves towards the coast, it's going to immediately die. But it's just interesting to be able to threshold these temperatures here and show you. And look at the Caribbean. Plenty warm, lots of warm temperatures there. And if you're thinking about above or below average sea surface temperatures, let me turn on the sea surface temperature anomalies. And here is the legend for that too. So as I move my cursor over the Gulf of Mexico, you can see areas that are well above average, around 2 to 3 degrees above average. And then in the blue areas, these are slightly below average. So this has been kind of a persistent cool spot over the last couple of weeks here. But even down towards Nicaragua, temperatures are about average, but they are in the 80s, 85 to 86 degrees down here as far as that's concerned. And so what I'd like to show you is the wind as well and what's going on around the wind speeds with this particular system, Tropical Storm Sara. And you can see the center of the storm is just off the coast here near Pelican Ridge in Honduras. And you can see the wind is really funneling down in here. So it's very strong, lots of surge being pushed in here on the northern coast of Honduras. But the flooding rain is going to be the real big issue. And you can see the wind coming around here around Belize too. I'm going to zoom out because we have some other things going on as well in the Atlantic. And I just want to show you this before I get to the forecast. Look at this coastal storm that really blew up as it moved off the coast of the U.S., off of about Norfolk, Virginia. The winds have really picked up here, and you can see it's causing quite a bit of movement of water. There are coastal flood advisories and warnings from Virginia Beach down to the Outer Banks, North Carolina. Route 12, which is the road out along the Outer Banks, is flooded and covered with water right now, and that's going to continue through their next high tide cycle as this storm slowly moves to the southeast. But what I want to show you is yet another house has been destroyed on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. So let me show you what this looks like. This was this morning in Rodanth, North Carolina, and I'll show you on the map here on the left. This is where Rodanth, some people call Rodanth, North Carolina, where the wind is just howling and pushing the sound water into Rodanth and into the Outer Banks here from the sound, and also pushing it ashore along the ocean as well. So big waves causing another house. I think this is the fourth house in Rodanth in the last 2 months that has collapsed into the Atlantic Ocean because of terrible flooding and also beach erosion. So this is video from this morning in Rodanth. Just terrible beach erosion there, and that's what's been going on. So these winds are going to be persistent for the next several hours as this low pressure system starts to move out and away and starts to weaken. But that's the pressure gradient, and again, some coastal flood advisories in effect all the way up into the Chesapeake Bay as well, and then down to the south. But if I want to go back here to the satellite picture and take you back up to the north, this is what I want to do, is show you the Gulf of Mexico and Florida. There is a frontal system extending across Florida right now, kind of weakening. You can see it falling apart. And I want to show you the model forecast for the tropics, what's going to go on, what's going to happen with Tropical Storm Sara. Okay, so let's go over here, and I want to show you the model forecast. Right now, this is the status. Here's that strong ocean storm that's causing all of that beach erosion on the outer banks of North Carolina. That's going to be moving out. This model was initialized at 12Z this morning. That's 7 o'clock this morning Eastern time. Here is Tropical Storm Sara down here right off the coast of Honduras. And we're going to be seeing that moving to the west very slowly. Let me put this into motion for you, and we'll take this out into the future. You can see that ocean storm moving out off the east coast, creating a lot of waves out there. But then you can see here by 18Z on Sunday, so by Sunday afternoon, we still have a low pressure system over basically the Yucatan, Quintana Roo area, but it's not really showing up as a tropical storm anymore. The National Hurricane Center has it going down to a tropical depression by Monday when it emerges. And you can see the model is showing, this is the GFS model, just some precipitation emerging into the Bay of Campeche. Strong high pressure to the north is really forcing this storm to continue on its sort of westward trend. Then it's going to ride around the back end of this high pressure as this strong low forms over Texas. Remember, we talked about that the last couple of days, showing where that system is out west, and that trough's going to dig in and create this low pressure. Well, this is going to have an influence on the remnants of Sara here, and I'm going to take this into the future to show you what happens. It goes up into the Gulf of Mexico. The moisture gets entrained into this frontal system, so we might have flooding rains during the day Monday around eastern Texas, eastern Oklahoma, Arkansas, maybe some severe weather as well. That tropical moisture, it's going to tap into that tropical moisture from the remnants of Sara, and then it's going to force Sara, the remnants of Sara, along the northern Gulf Coast. Now, no real big low pressure system, no tropical storm, no hurricane, but it could be a tropical depression or just a low pressure system that has some heavy rain possibly impacting the Florida Panhandle, headed towards the Big Bend area. As this high pressure moves off the coast, the return flow, remember, air flows clockwise around a high pressure system. So this clockwise air is going to be forcing this storm, the remnants of Sara, to the north. But then we'll continue this. Let's continue to move this out from Tuesday night into Wednesday. And this is Wednesday morning. We're talking about potentially some heavy showers and thunderstorms along the west coast of Florida. That's what we were talking about before. If Sara was expected to be a tropical storm and a hurricane impacting the Florida coast, that's no longer a concern. But we are concerned about this heavy rain, and this heavy rain that might be moving into central Florida. We still have flash flood or flood warnings going on in the Withlacoochee River north of Tampa, where some people have still not been able to get into their houses, or their properties are still flooded from the remnants of Hurricane Milton that moved through more than about 5 weeks ago or more. And so as we look into Wednesday at 12Z, that's 7 in the morning, we may have to be dealing with some heavy showers and storms that will move through from Tampa down to Naples, and then it will push out because there's going to be a strong push of air, cooler air, as a matter of fact. Could be the nation in the Northeast first big snow event in some of the mountains of West Virginia, Western Maryland, Pennsylvania. Could get upwards of close to a foot of snow from that storm next week. So there's cold air. These blue contours here is very cold air coming down. But as far as this storm is concerned, it should be out of here by Thursday. And we have some other tropical activity going on, but that's the good news. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a tropical storm or a hurricane to impact Florida, but we're going to be watching very closely that low pressure system as it keeps its act together. And once again, let me show you the wide picture here with Sara down to the south. So we have a broad circulation. It's expected to move over the Yucatan Peninsula, emerge as a depression. We'll probably still see some circulation there, but once it gets into the Gulf, the temperatures are warm enough to support a tropical system, but the winds in the upper parts of the atmosphere are going to start to tear it apart. Some of the moisture will get drawn up into Texas and Louisiana and Oklahoma, and then the system should take a turn to the east and then impact perhaps areas like Apalachicola and then down towards the Big Bend, Tampa, and down towards Naples as a rainstorm, not really as a big thunderstorm. So that's it for this tropical update. I'm Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications. We always keep a close eye on what's going on in the tropics so we can keep the All Hazards Consortium and you updated on any major activities. And we'll be watching this one through the weekend into next week to make sure we can walk you through what's going on. I know we had some questions earlier, too, just briefly about Jamaica and what's going on with Jamaica. Well, this is Jamaica, and you can see we've been saying for days and days you'll be right on the outskirts of these bands of precipitation. And so there are occasional showers and storms that are popping up around Jamaica. But overall, a beautiful day and a beautiful weekend in store as Sara moves on off to the west and the weather starts to get even better. Drier air headed for Jamaica too. It's going to feel wonderful over the next several days. Thanks so much for watching this tropical update. I'm Dave Jones. Please have yourself a good weekend. Watch out for yourself. Take care of yourself. And also, please take care of your neighbors too. We'll see you tomorrow.